Chapter 4. Introduction to Tourism and Culture. Learning Objectives. At the end of the chapter, students are expected to describe effects of cultures in travel, clarify how cultural patterns are changed by internal and external forces, discuss the importance of cultural tourism, analyze cultural factors that appeals to tourists, and explain how each of these cultural factors contribute to cultural tourism. Culture can be described as a collection of shared beliefs, values, attitudes, habits, and behaviors within a society that are passed down from one generation to the next. When tourists struggle to comprehend and communicate effectively within the culture they are visiting, it can lead to a phenomenon known as culture shock. What is cultural tourism? Cultural tourism, as defined by the United Nations World Tourism Organization, refers to people traveling for cultural reasons. These reasons can include things like educational study tours, attending performances and cultural events, visiting historical sites and monuments, exploring nature, folklore, or art, and going on pilgrimages. In essence, it's when people travel to experience and engage with the culture, history, and traditions of a place through various activities and events. Positive effects of cultures in travel. Cultures have a multitude of positive effects on travel, enriching the overall experience for tourists and creating beneficial outcomes for both travelers and the communities they visit. Here are some of the positive effects of cultures in travel. Enriching experiences. Cultural immersion enhances the travel experience by allowing tourists to engage with local customs, traditions, and ways of life. This can lead to more meaningful and memorable experiences. Cross-cultural understanding. Travelers exposed to different cultures often develop a broader perspective and a greater understanding of global diversity. This fosters tolerance and empathy, promoting peaceful coexistence in an interconnected world. Authenticity. Cultural elements such as traditional cuisine, music, dance, and art contribute to the authenticity of a destination. Travelers seek authentic experiences that enable them to connect with the genuine culture of a place. For economic benefits, cultural tourism can boost the local economy by generating income for artisans, performers, local businesses, and cultural institutions. It creates job opportunities and stimulates related industries like hospitality and transportation. 5. Heritage preservation. Tourism can act as a catalyst for preserving and conserving cultural heritage. Communities often invest in the restoration and maintenance of historical sites, monuments, and traditions to attract and accommodate tourists. 6. Cultural exchange. Cultural tourism encourages interaction between tourists and locals. This exchange of ideas and customs can be a source of mutual enrichment, fostering friendships and connections that span geographical boundaries. Promotion of cultural diversity. Travelers' interest in different cultures encourages the preservation and promotion of diverse traditions, languages, and art forms. This helps safeguard cultural diversity and heritage. Economic diversification. Cultural tourism diversifies a destination's sources of income, reducing its reliance on a single industry. This can make communities more resilient to economic fluctuations. Community pride. Communities take pride in sharing their culture with tourists, leading to a reaffirmation of their cultural identity. This pride can boost local morale and strengthen social cohesion. Education and learning. Cultural tourism is a form of education. Travelers gain insights into history, art, and traditions by visiting museums, attending cultural events, and engaging with local experts. Sustainable tourism. When managed responsibly, cultural tourism can contribute to sustainable development by minimizing negative impacts on the environment and local culture while maximizing the benefits to host communities. Cultural revival. In some cases, cultural tourism can revive and revitalize dying traditions or crafts. The economic incentives created by tourism can encourage younger generations to learn and carry forward their cultural heritage. Negative effects of cultures in travel. While cultural tourism can have many positive effects, it can also have negative impacts on both the visited destinations and the travelers themselves. Here are some of the negative effects of cultures in travel. Cultural appropriation. In some cases, tourists may engage in cultural appropriation, where they adopt or use elements of a culture inappropriately or without proper understanding. This can be offensive and disrespectful to the local community. Over-commercialization, popular cultural attractions and events can become overly commercialized to cater to tourist demands, potentially diluting the authenticity and originality of the culture. Cultural exploitation, tourist activities, such as staged cultural performances or the sale of traditional crafts, can sometimes exploit local artisans and performers if they receive low wages or are subject to unfair working conditions. Disruption of traditions. Some cultural tourism activities may disrupt or change traditional practices to cater to tourists, leading to a loss of authenticity in cultural rituals and traditions. Environmental impact. An influx of tourists can have adverse environmental impacts, such as increased pollution, habitat degradation, and strain on natural resources, which can harm both the local culture and environment. Over-tourism. Cultural destinations can suffer from over-tourism, where an excessive number of tourists overwhelm the area, causing congestion, damage to historical sites, and negative impacts on the quality of life for local residents. Gentrification. The influx of tourists can drive up property prices, leading to gentrification, where longtime residents are displaced, resulting in changes to the social fabric and culture of a neighborhood or community. Loss of cultural authenticity. The pursuit of profit in cultural tourism may encourage communities to prioritize catering to tourists over preserving their authentic culture, leading to a loss of traditions and values. Stereotyping. Tourists may sometimes form stereotypes about the cultures they encounter based on limited interactions or misconceptions, perpetuating cultural biases and misunderstandings. Economic disparities. The benefits of cultural tourism are not always evenly distributed within a community. Some individuals and businesses may prosper while others remain marginalized, leading to economic disparities. Degradation of cultural sites. Overvisitation and improper tourist behavior can result in the degradation and damage of historical and cultural sites. Cultural erosion. Exposure to globalized tourism can sometimes erode the unique cultural practices and languages of a community as they adapt to accommodate tourist preferences. Cultural patterns. In the context of travel, culture patterns refer to the various aspects of a destination's culture, including its customs, traditions, values, social norms, behaviors, and practices. These culture patterns encompass how people in a specific location live, interact, celebrate, communicate, and conduct themselves in daily life. When travelers engage with these culture patterns, they have the opportunity to immerse themselves in the local culture, gain a deeper understanding of the destination, and participate in authentic cultural experiences, which can be a significant part of the travel experience. These patterns can include everything from culinary traditions and language to clothing styles, rituals, and artistic expressions. Culture patterns undergo transformation due to internal factors, where some individuals within a group exhibit a greater willingness to embrace novelty compared to others. Culture patterns can undergo transformation due to external influences as well. Exposure to different environments and interactions with other cultures can lead to shifts in attitudes and behaviors that were previously held within a culture. Cultural patterns are the similar behaviors within similar situations we witness due to shared beliefs, values, norms, and social practices that are steady over time. Importance of cultural tourism. Cultural tourism holds significant importance for both travelers and the communities they visit. Here are some key reasons why cultural tourism is valuable. Cultural enrichment. Cultural tourism allows travelers to immerse themselves in the heritage, traditions, and artistic expressions of a destination. This exposure enhances their understanding of different cultures and enriches their personal experiences. Cross-cultural understanding. Engaging with local culture fosters cross-cultural understanding and tolerance. Travelers gain insights into the diverse ways people live, think, and interact, promoting empathy and reducing cultural stereotypes. Preservation of cultural heritage. Cultural tourism often supports the preservation of historical sites, landmarks, and traditional practices. Revenue generated from tourism can be reinvested in conserving cultural assets for future generations. Economic benefits. Cultural tourism contributes to the local economy by generating income for artisans, cultural performers, tour guides, hotels, restaurants, and transportation services. This economic growth can lead to job creation and improved infrastructure. Community empowerment. Local communities can benefit from cultural tourism by participating in the tourism industry. They may gain opportunities for income generation, which can enhance their standard of living and quality of life. Promotion of cultural diversity. Cultural tourism promotes the value of cultural diversity by celebrating and showcasing different traditions, languages, and art forms. This encourages the preservation and promotion of unique cultural elements. Destination attraction. Unique cultural experiences can differentiate a destination from others, attracting a diverse range of tourists. Cultural attractions often serve as magnets for travelers seeking authentic and memorable experiences. Cultural exchange. Tourists and locals engage in cultural exchange, sharing stories, knowledge, and traditions. These interactions create connections and promote friendship between people from different backgrounds. Sustainable tourism. When managed responsibly, cultural tourism can contribute to sustainable development by minimizing negative environmental and cultural impacts while maximizing the benefits to local communities. Education and learning. Cultural tourism serves as an educational experience, offering travelers the opportunity to learn about history, art, and traditions through visits to museums, historical sites, and cultural institutions. Cultural revival. In some cases, cultural tourism can revive and revitalize dying traditions, crafts, or art forms. The economic incentives created by tourism can motivate younger generations to embrace and carry forward their cultural heritage. Global cultural exchange. Cultural tourism promotes the exchange of cultural ideas and practices on a global scale, helping to create a more interconnected and culturally rich world. Cultural factors appeal to tourists. Several cultural factors appeal to tourists and contribute significantly to cultural tourism. These factors enhance the overall travel experience and play a crucial role in attracting visitors to specific destinations. Here are some key cultural factors and how they contribute to cultural tourism. Historical heritage. Historical sites, monuments, and landmarks are major attractions for cultural tourists. They offer insights into a region's past, showcasing its architectural, artistic, and archaeological heritage. Tourists are drawn to these sites to learn about history, experience the ambience of bygone eras, and appreciate the cultural significance of the place. Contribution. Historical heritage sites contribute to cultural tourism by preserving and sharing a region's history, attracting history enthusiasts, and generating revenue for their maintenance and restoration. Cultural festivals and events. Cultural festivals, ceremonies, and events are vibrant expressions of a community's traditions. Tourists flock to these occasions to witness local music, dance, rituals, and celebrations, providing an immersive cultural experience. Contribution. Cultural festivals and events contribute to cultural tourism by showcasing a destination's unique cultural identity, promoting cultural exchange, and infusing the local economy with revenue from tourists. Culinary tourism. Food and cuisine are essential components of culture. Travelers often seek out local dishes, flavors, and culinary traditions to savor the tastes of a region. Culinary tourism allows tourists to explore the culinary arts and regional flavors. Contribution. Culinary tourism contributes by promoting local food traditions, supporting local restaurants and food producers, and providing a sensory experience that enhances cultural immersion. Arts and crafts. Many tourists are interested in traditional arts, crafts, and handmade products unique to a region. Visiting local artisans, craft markets, and galleries allows travelers to appreciate and purchase authentic souvenirs. Contribution. Arts and crafts contribute to cultural tourism by preserving traditional craftsmanship, providing economic opportunities for artisans, and offering tourists tangible mementos of their cultural experiences. Cultural performances. Traditional music, dance, theater, storytelling, and other forms of cultural performance appeal to tourists seeking entertainment and cultural enrichment. These performances bring cultural narratives to life. Contribution. Cultural performances contribute to cultural tourism by entertaining and educating tourists, supporting artists and performers, and serving as a medium for cultural transmission. Museums and galleries. Cultural institutions such as museums, art galleries, and cultural centers house collections of artifacts, artworks, and exhibits that provide insights into a region's culture and history. Contribution. Museums and galleries contribute to cultural tourism by offering educational experiences, preserving cultural artifacts, and attracting visitors interested in art, history, and heritage. Language and literature. Languages and literature are integral to culture. Tourists interested in language and literature may visit regions to learn languages, explore literary landmarks, or attend literary festivals. Contribution. Language and literature contribute to cultural tourism by promoting linguistic diversity, fostering cultural exchange, and attracting tourists with a passion for language and literary traditions. These cultural factors collectively contribute to cultural tourism by preserving and celebrating cultural heritage, promoting cultural exchange, stimulating economic growth, and enriching the travel experience for tourists seeking to immerse themselves in the diverse cultures of the world. Thank you.